traders drown in charts and still miss the real levels. Get clear daily roadmaps for the S&P 500 futures. Levels, setups, and strategies that matter. Delivered straight to your inbox pre-market every morning. Subscribe now on Substack. Conquer the markets.
What's up, ES gangsters? Man, it's good to see you guys. I tell you what, today was a great day. I was super excited to do this stream. Of course, I'm super unpolished again. I was actually making content all the way up until 5, trying to get some clips together. I'm not even sure if I got everything. There was so much stuff in the plan today that was ridiculous. So, for those of you guys who had the plans, you'll know what I missed. And for those of you who don't, it's going to still be good enough. You're going to like it. Okay. So as usual, kick it off with like this. If you are not following me, please do so. Guys, this is my handles across all social media platforms: Ryan Bailey Edge, Substack, YouTube, Twitter. Follow me, like me, retweet, the whole 9 yards. Hook me up, spread the word with other people. It makes me feel good to help others, and we all make money in the process. I actually had a guy get a hold of me today that said he thought he was in the 30-day free trial, and it turned out he was in the 7-day free trial. And he got billed today and told me that he wasn't mad because he's already paid for the year. So I was pretty excited to hear about that. He said he also liked our options levels better than Mentor Q, which I thought was pretty awesome too, which is outstanding. So big props to Rob for that. So guys, follow us on socials, help some people out. I am giving away 30 days free to the Substack publication if you have not signed up. The link is in the Twitter. It will also be in Substack. And of course, it'll be in this stream afterwards. I'll put the links in the bottom. Sign up. It doesn't cost you anything. You put your email in there. I turn it on. You'll have the plans in the morning. So easy peasy. So that's about that. So let me get over here now. All right. So, today was crazy. And, it kind of strokes my ego a little bit that it was really that good. And so I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little round of applause here. I found this really funny little button here. You're going to like this. Are you guys ready? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. One more time. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys are too much. All right. So on to the show now. So, I really just couldn't be happier. Let's get right into it. And I know I've missed a lot of stuff. And, I want to talk context first. We're going to get into the trade plans a little bit here. And I'm also going to pull up some charts that I probably didn't even think about pulling up, to be quite frank. But we're going to start with the opening context. And so I always start the trade plan with a little excerpt of, how I'm feeling about the day. What do I think? What did the overnight action do? Let me hide myself here. So for those of you guys who were watching the markets last night, we had like this 60-point sell-off in the middle of the night. And really what they did was they come down and they got in our leg end and they tested some really important stuff. And they almost got into our 36 daily leg. I was hoping they were going to come get it today, but they didn't. It's okay. We made it work. And, it's there. So, one of the things with that nice 50-point bounce from the overnight lows was basically them getting into the leg, okay, which was very, very important. We had some red tag news this morning that didn't pop off, of course, because, the government's closed down. But the big part that I really want to talk about here is I even said right here, a pullback would be preferred, right? But the other option is to buy the breakout above 68.05. They did the same thing yesterday, guys. We did this. We almost had the same trade as yesterday. This one actually had a little bit more legs to it. And so I want to talk about that dip real fast before we talk about the breakout above 68.05. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the chart real fast just because I'm sitting here thinking, how important it would be for you guys to have some context into this. I'm actually going to pull up two charts. One is the ETH daily because it shows the overnight price action. So this was our leg up. We've talked about this many times. This was our leg in down here at 38. Okay. They got super, super close, but really what they tested last night, and they dipped into it a little bit, but they grabbed this weekly here at 61. Okay. And you guys know that, I was bearish when we were up here, and I wasn't like long-term bearish, but I kept saying, we're going to come down on this support. And basically for the past, few days, I'm like, we are not looking for shorts anymore. There's no reason to look for shorts. We're simply trying to buy. And this is why. Okay. This right here is our move to the high, to the all-time high. And, they were going to grab bids at some point. We just had to figure out where it was at. And we had a great run yesterday, caught the long. And again, today, again, they sold off in the overnight. Really a little kind of salty that they didn't give us a chance to get in there and buy this a little deeper. But hey, it is what it is, right? And so this was the big weekly that I wanted to show you guys. And I'm going to pull over the 4 hours so you can get just a little bit more context here. And I know this is a little messy because I didn't clean these up for you guys. These are what I look at. So we got all down in this pocket. I wanted to get a little bit closer. As you can see, I had 45 marked basically, but they pulled down and they popped up. And really the way that they remounted this last night, and I'm going to show you this on the 5 minute, even though it's kind of small, I thought it was really interesting to see. Like, look at this pullback in here. They came down, they did this nice remount, and then as soon as they broke out above this thing was gonzo. And they left a beautiful untested 4 hour down here. I was hoping they'd come down and retest that, but this was a great launch last night. It was funny because I was actually looking at this thinking last night, like, man, they're selling this thing off. Like, I think I tweeted about it too. And then before the night was even remotely close to being over, it was almost like they were only down 15 points. And so it's kind of crazy. So let's talk about the AM long. Now that you guys understand why we're getting the juice the way we are, it's because we're coming out of this pocket down here. Okay. And so one of the things that, I knew that we were coming out of this pocket. I knew that we were hot. Okay. The other thing is we had this daily at 67.74 that we have talked about over and over and over in the trade plans. And they basically, when they popped up, where's my pin at? Don't do this to me, pin. Here we go. When we popped up, we kind of rolled over here, and then we played this 67.74, which is also that naked POC I was telling you about, 76. Played right into it and just popped. And then so we opened the day essentially right here around 05. Okay, I think that's where we opened. I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's exactly where we opened. Okay, so, and what they did was this is where the RTH chart started, right? And so when I say RTH, I mean the cash only session. And they backed up into this big ass weekly that we had at 67.88, which was the major pivot. Now let's go ahead and just, before I get ahead of myself, here we go. Major weekly pivot, 67.88. This is a major being above or below and shifts the favor in the bull bear direction. Sustained moves in either direction are possible above or below this monster weekly level. All right. So as you can see, the reason that I highlighted this for you here was this 67.60. That was this weekly that they basically got into last night. Now, weekly levels are big. They're high time frame levels. I don't get too upset when they squeak through them by 5 or 10 points. It's a monster level. They produce hundreds of points. And so it's like, okay, you bled through it a little bit. Cool. As long as we remount, we're straight. So then you can see right here, this is the 74 I was telling you about. This was the pop up, right? And then this was the back test right here on the 88. We had the previous, we had the 1019 weekly value area high. Fantastic touch. So here was what I wanted to show you guys as well. So this was, I wanted to show you these key support setups. And then now I'm going to bring this over to kind of overlay on top. Is this the same one? Let me see here. Maybe I screwed it up. All right, let me pull this over here. Sorry. All right, so we talked about. Oh, there I am. All right, give me 1 second here. I want to show you guys this. This is super important. So we talked about how essentially the idea is to break out above 05. And that was the critical context for us this morning when we saw them coming off the weekly and we saw them coming off the daily this morning. The very first thing right here was above or below the 68.05, 12. This will be our major upside pivot once again. It contains the tested daily at 05 and the previous all-time high at 12. We had a massive call wall at 12, which leads me to believe the sellers will defend this area. So that push back above and acceptance above 05 could launch us over 012 and trigger a very nice long. Well, I don't know where all that content I made is at, so we're just going to free ball, all right? So I'm just going to show you guys basically what happened here. So this is the open, and they popped up. This is the 05 right here and above 12. And they came all the way up. Basically, they got really close to our call wall right here, as you can see. All right. Oh, maybe this is the one I wanted here. No, it's not. They got really close to the call wall, and then they pulled back. Now, I gave this actual trade in the room, which was pretty good. And this is the trade that I took. So I'll just be frank. I missed the initial long this morning. And I actually have something else that I want to show you about this long that's really important. But before we do that, check this out. You're going to like this. Okay. So let me pull over this. Just break this over so you guys can see me fumble around here. Oh, where are we at? Where's my scoreboard? Here we go. Look at my boy Dave slayed it. So here we go. So I basically told everybody before this happened, may look for a back test of 0925 on the candle change in 4 minutes. Play that and pop back over 12 would be a nice play. You can clearly see here this green line is where I got in. 12 was the overnight high, and I was starting to trail my stops higher and higher, basically just due to that. So this, that's one of the nice things about being in the Discord too, is I'm always updating and doing intraday updates as far as, levels to play. So here you go. I'm talking about the VIX. We basically come into our super significant area at VIX. We've been talking about 67.60 for a long time. So I had a pretty good feeling we're going to continue to move up. We started talking about how it was starting to get sucked back into VWAP. As you can see, this is the second standard deviation. This is the first standard deviation. So they moved outside of it, came back into it, held the second standard, and continued to go up higher. So I'm like, okay, we're getting sucked back into value. We are moving up. We're coming off the weekly. We're coming off the daily. We're back above the previous all-time high. We're going to rock this joint, right? And so I get back in, and I show everybody exactly where my targets are, what my stops are looking like. My stops are initially down here. And, we're going for targets. And so, I was telling people basically right here, if you like this or if this plays, I think we could see new highs over 49. Well, what happened today? Where did we go? Right? So let's just look at where we went. Well, 49 was this wick here. And that's exactly what we did. We back tested this 09 area, right? And we came all the way up and played 49. Okay. And you can see here, right here, this was really important because not only did my first target was the call wall, which I showed you guys, this 32.36. This zone contains a call wall and a 4 hour at 36, right? And so I took some profits here. They pulled back, pulled into VWAP, and look where they went. They came right up to 55. Big spot reaction, 48 or 49 to 55. This is a big spot. I would look for a reaction here. Contains 4 hour and a daily level, plus another call wall at 52. I don't think I could be any more clear. It's just such a good spot. And so you could see right here, we smacked, and obviously the call wall. Now, right here, check this out. Weakness would be confirmed if price touches this zone and pulls back under yesterday's high at 49.25. What do we have right here? 49.25. We pop up, we ride it, we ride it, we ride it. We get underneath 49.25, and voila, she comes down. Right? Not brain surgery, guys. It's all laid out in front of you. I do a lot of work on this plan, and I'm very proud of it. So I don't know if you guys could see that because I had my ugly mug in the way I just saw that, but there you go. Pulls back underneath yesterday's low, and you can see we came down right here. So I couldn't be happier with this. Now, the other thing that is really important to take into context, this is a lot of people fooey-hooey on VIX TA. But, I swear by it because, our process, it doesn't matter what the chart is, it works. That's why guys in the room want me to chart gold and they want me to chart, oil and stocks and all kinds of shit, because as long as we have a chart, the process works, right? So here's the other big part, and I'm going to show you this. And I probably should have done this in 2 parts, okay? So first thing I said was VIX is still elevated this morning. It's above our significant weekly pivot at 1913, right here. This is where we open the day. So our key pivot is 1913 for more up or down. Bullish for ES. If ES breaks below 1913, the next support is 1744. Guys, we've talked about the 1735 monthly for weeks. Going all the way back, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, whatever. We've talked about it. And we had an untested daily at 44. So what happens, right? So we break below 1913. We have this monster push in ES. We actually did 100 points from yesterday's low. I don't know if anybody actually realizes that. We were up about 55 points in the RTH session today, cash session, but they did 100 points. They did 100 points today off that leg in, which was a monster move. And, this all was confirmed with the break below VIX. Now, the other thing that I said right here, that, if we basically what's bearish for ES, or it's actually, I don't think I took a picture of this, but right here, we talk about this untested support at 1744 and 1735, right? Well, look what happened. We got a huge pop off of this at the end of the day. Right when what happened? When we can't get above 55. So as soon as VIX started to get elevated, well, of course, we're coming off of a daily level and a significant monthly on VIX. It pushes up. It pushes the ES down. We're into our major resistance. I mean, geez Louise, like it's all right there. So, I just couldn't be happier. So I'm really, really excited about today's plan. We had a lot of guys in the room make a lot of money. I didn't make crazy amount today. I'll be frank. I mean, I showed you guys, on this, we had, some people didn't even post their stuff. But I made my normal $1,400-1,500. And my guy Dave cleaned up. Look at this. I mean, just absolutely monster. He's a serial killer. So, he's a beast. So that is fantastic. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you guys, now I really look at the RTH chart a lot during the day. And this totally caught me off guard. And it's kind of funny because I had the signal was going and everything. It's kind of funny. So these were the lows from yesterday's low. Okay. We opened right here. All right. This was the open, and they pushed down and they swept yesterday's low. And then we rocketed. Now, again, I didn't get long until up here, which wasn't crazy. But if you were on top of this trade, which I clearly wasn't, we had, as soon as we got back above yesterday's low, this thing squeezed. I mean, this was a monster. And so I thought it was really interesting how, it kind of pulled our signature sweep of the previous day's low. It starts to squeeze, and then we got back above our 05 and our 12, and it just never stopped. And really the back test for me was critical because I had missed the initial breakout move right here. I missed it. I flat out missed it. I really wanted us to come a little lower. We had a lot of untested stuff lower, and I just wanted lower. And I'll show you guys really what I'm looking at for tomorrow as well, because there's going to be a lot of price action that happens in the overnight. So I won't ruin it for those who get the plan, because as far as I know, we could drop 50 points and come right back and everything is what it is. So, it just gives us something to talk about. But this retest that I gave as a shout out in the room was a testament to how important it is to be in the Discord room. For anybody who's a Discord subscriber, it's totally worth you being in there. I mean, I do charge for it. It's $50, right? Ooh, big deal, $50, okay? And it's totally worth it because I give out calls intraday. And, the only reason we charge is because we have real traders in the room, guys, just to let you know. Like, everybody in there is usually it used to be course holders exclusively. So guys that paid thousands of dollars to be in here, and they trade real money, and they trade every day. And so we've got a group of monster killers in here, and they're really my family at this point. We've been trading for a lot of them for years together. My boy SOOOO, who's in there, I mean, we've traded probably 7 or 8 years together. Piper too, long time. And so, we're like family in here. So we don't want any riffraff. And, I've noticed that just a small barrier to entry kind of keeps all the tools out of there because nobody appreciates anything free. So with that being said, we charge a small barrier, but it's totally worth it. I mean, just that call today. I mean, I traded small. I had 18 micros on, made $1,500, and I got out at 36. I never even catch the retest. I went out to walk my dog, came back, and we were damn near at 49. I was so bummed. So it is what it is, but whatever. So we made money. Good deal. So that's how that works. That's what the importance of being in there. And that's, what we do for the Discord room as well. But this was a killer trade. And when I saw them come off this 88, this was important. And this is something else I posted in the room. And let's talk about this. So this is something that you guys probably never even look at, that a lot of people don't really look at this stuff. Now, if you trade SPX, and I'm going to show you that too, you never knew the Ys are on the dip, right? So from the overnight session. And the same applied for here, right? So look at this big move down, et cetera. Well, when we go over to the cash session, just like I showed you, they basically back tested 88 and went. Well, we actually went down into the 40s, which is 40 points lower. So that month or that weekly test was our first test. Now look how amazing this was. This was the cash session, and this is what I trade. All my levels, my high time frame levels are derived. The daily and higher are all derived from the cash session levels. And look at this, fantastic touch, just incredible. And this really is what, as soon as I saw that happen, I was like, man, we just need to buy this thing. On the first pullback I'm getting, I'm buying. And I'm just going to keep it real with you. The bottom may be in. We may not go any lower. Doesn't mean we won't, but this leads me to believe that this move could be it. But we could go lower because we never came into the leg and we missed it by like 10 points. So I'm just saying ifs, it's possible. And again, I'm not bearish. You guys know that. I've been just insanely bullish for God knows how long. And I have no reason to believe that we're coming down yet. We'll see what happens with the Trump thing today with the whole Supreme Court issue. But, so far we're looking pretty good. And so now I'm going to go ahead and pull over the RTH daily chart just to show you this as well. Super important. And this was the same thing, right? So I showed you what the ETH chart looked like. Remember? We pulled all the way back into this leg, but past 61, right? Well, look where the RTH session has us at, right? Literally, we barely skipped a beat. This was yesterday's close. This is today's open. We back tested into this major pivot at 88, and we ramped. Just went. We not only swept yesterday's low, but we swept yesterday's high. Just incredible moves here, okay? So we have made some support, again, for the way up, but we have to wait and see where we open because that is going to be critical. It's hard to say what's going to happen here, especially with VIX coming off that spot. Anything is possible. It really is. So I'm going to pull this over as well. I actually tweeted this. If you guys are following me on Twitter, you saw this. There's no question about it. SPX. My SPX guys, we all follow this heavily. If you're trading ES, you'd be crazy not to look at this. This is the actual indice. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull over this daily chart. So this was the top down daily at 67, 60, 50 that we've been talking about forever. Ever since we pushed up, I'm like, man, they come back and touch this. This is going to be a gangster ass trade. And so it is. I mean, look at this thing. We did our number today, guys. We did really good on this. And so, again, like I said, the bottom may be in, but it may not because the RTH, the technical leg in on SPX, where's my pen at? Sorry. Where's my pen? What, are you going to draw over here today? Man, what the fuck? Let me close this out. Oh, fuck. All right, whatever. It doesn't matter. The technical leg end for SPX is down here at 68.88. So that's the same leg end that we're looking at for ES down at 67.38. So same exact spot, just different asset, right? And so things look a little differently as far as, sorry, pull this pen back up. So as far as numbers wise, but the structure is all the same. So again, like I said, this could be the low. It's possible. We could dip down a little lower. And the reason I say that is because a lot of these levels, they want to be tested in the cash session. So even though that we got all the juice today from the overnight action, that doesn't mean they won't come back down and test this stuff, especially in ES or in SPX, I guess I should say. But this is ultimately our leg to the high right here. And this was our top down support that took us down 200 points. And when it came down, it played, it got nice moves. And so no complaints there whatsoever. But I have to tell you, this sell-off today, at the end of the day, was a little extreme. I really thought that they were going to hold a little bit better if they wanted to continue this move up, which is one reason why I said to you guys that if we have to wait until morning to really see what we're going to do, because we could come down a lot farther. It is possible. So let's talk about that real fast. I think that would be good for people who are, following along. So, I've got some, I'm just going to pull over my 4-hour here. Actually, yeah, I'll leave this. 1 hour is good. So this was a monster smack here. Monster. Now, what do I have that's untested? Well, technically, I'll change this right now. 05 is untested again. Voila. We could literally play 05 to the touch and bounce. But they did make a leg up at 98.50 now as well. My only concern with this, guys, and just so you understand the context here, we did not gain anything on this pop. Okay. So, a lot of times when you don't gain on a level, it can still, and it comes back and it tests it, it may get a reaction, but it may not be the reaction, right? And so really, we're still going to use 05 and 12. And really at this point, 12 is not a big deal for me as 09 is now. So 09, we had our previous push down. So if 0550 played and we got back above 0925, I'm hitting it. I'm getting long. All right. And then obviously we want continuation above 12. But I'm just saying we have yesterday's point of control here. We have a lot of reasons to like this level. But if this doesn't hold, it can come down a lot lower. This was the daily that we played last night at 74, but technically speaking on the RTH chart and, this weekly down here at 67.61 is still untested. I would have loved for them to come down here and play this and get back above that and go. We now have a 4-hour untested level of 60, and 73 is going to be our mid pivot. See right here, top down mid pivot. I'm using this for above or below, guys. And it's got that old point of control. And then of course we know that this 88 is a monster. All right. So we just kind of play the progression. That's really all we're doing, right? We get above this, we continue to go here, yada, yada, yada. And if not, then we move lower. But our ultimate goodness would be to come down here to 38. If they gap down in the middle of the night and we open down here, it's on. Now, the only thing you got to be worried about is them actually gapping below it. If they open below it by the RTH session, it's the plan's shot. So, we want them to stay above this and above these really important levels in order for us to continue our bearish or our bullish move up. So that's what I got for you guys on ES. We've talked VIX, we talked ES, we talked RTH chart, we talked a gray sweep play. We've talked all kinds of good stuff today. So the other thing that I want to talk to you about real quick, and I'm just going to throw it out there, and then we'll make this quick because we're running out of time. This Bitcoin trade, y'all. Yesterday I was telling you guys I was getting slaughtered in this Bitcoin trade, and I'm like, I was crying about it. Man, I'm freaking in IBIT, right? I basically bought this weekly. Check this out. This blew my brain. So we came down, and the trade actually, and I posted this in Twitter, and I believe I showed you guys as well. And I'm going to pull it over just so that you can see what my train of thought was when I say, oh, this trade worked. Check this out. So here is the trade. If Bitcoin sweeps the 102.500 monthly, plays the 101 weekly, and reclaims 102.50 monthly, we could squeeze nice. So here's what I thought. Come down, play the weekly, pop back up against the monthly, go to 108. Now, did it do that? Kinda, not really. It bled into it, pretty bad. But I just thought it was interesting. Look at this. They literally came down and played the last untested 4-hour level to hold this leg and move back up. So as long as they stay above 102, 430, basically 435, we continue to push into this 108. So we'll see what happens. Right now, this is looking pretty good for Bitcoin as far as, just holding, but, they haven't lost on this current section of this daily leg up. They're currently holding this weekly leg up. They really need to stay above this. And so right now my trade is good to go. I'm happy about it. It's going to be great. It's going to be huge. And I am very happy about that. So we'll see what's up. We'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, we come down to the Mecca, the mid 80s, which would be awesome. There is some spots in between, which is a 94,500. But for right now, this looks like she's holding. The only thing that concerns me about Bitcoin coming down here is it's the lead for ES. And so if crypto is coming down, more than likely ES is going to come down too. And I guess that's why I keep saying, like, it's all about holding this daily leg really at 67.38 on ES. And if it doesn't, then, more than likely we'll see it in Bitcoin before anything. So kind of a big deal there, guys. And that's what I got for you. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today. I hope you enjoyed the recap. If you are a Substack subscriber, you're welcome. Pat myself on the back, right? I know. Here, wait a minute. Let me do it again just because of that. All right. And if you're not a subscriber already, if you've never done this before, 30 days free. Check it out in the link, either in the Substack or Discord post, or you can check it out in this post after it's already done. It'll be on YouTube, Substack, and X. And other than that, the trade plan will be out first thing in the morning. I'll have it to you guys around 8:30, and I will see you guys bright-eyed tomorrow. So be good, and thanks for showing, and let's conquer these markets. Cheers.